Alright, we're now 4 weeks into the season, and now it's time for my week 5 picks. And of course, it's nice to finally be able to have the webcam back after having not been able to do it last week. And last week, I finally got back on my winning note with a 10-5 finish. So this is the second year in a row now where I started strong in week 1, but then shit the bed in week 2 and 3. So I guess it's up. Oh, it's right, in 2. In week 4, I rebounded also last year. So I think it's quite obvious that the changes from each season take place during week 2 and 3, as we all know. And that's what caused me to shit the bed. I predict from results from last year. And then the teams that I expect to do good shit the bed, and teams we all thought would shit the bed turn out to be good at the moment. So hopefully now the transition's over with and I can get back to getting a win record each week. And to my right is the playoff bracket. As you can see in the AFC, the Broncos and Steelers have the byes. It would be the Ravens going to the Patriots and the Raiders going to the Texans. The Vikings and Eagles have the byes in the NFC side, with the Seahawks going to the Rams and the Cowboys going to the Falcons. Alright, so we get started with the Thursday night game, and that's the Cardinals going to the 49ers. And I just found out earlier this morning on NFL.com that Palmer is not playing today. So, gee, since I've been saying this since 2014, they need to get a replacement QB for him, but they still haven't listened, so now they don't have him for this game, and they're 1-3. Oh, yeah, and they got to go to a 49ers team that's had their number since 2009. Their only win there last year since 2008, and it was in overtime, I believe. And you were a great team last year, and the 49ers were so shitty last year. It's obvious that you need to do a major fix. And since the 49ers have beaten them pretty much every year since 2009, and the fact that Drew Stanton, I believe, was starting, the 49ers, I predict, will win 20-13, and the Cardinals will continue to regress mightily, which I predicted earlier this year. Alright, then we get to the 1 p.m. games on Sunday, and first up would be the Battle of the Beltway. The Redskins going to the Ravens, the first time since 2008. I don't think the Redskins have ever beaten the Ravens in Baltimore during the regular season, so maybe that'll be the first time. And, of course, the Ravens finally lost to the Raiders last week for the first time ever in Baltimore. That probably sucks. But the Redskins secondary with Josh Norman still shitty, but so is the Ravens. So it'd probably be a high score and a whole lot of passing, too. But since the Ravens are at home, and I trust them a lot more than I trust the Redskins, I think the Ravens will win 34-24. Then, of course, it's the Patriots going to the Browns, and Brady's first game back from the suspension. And you know he's going to have a sweet, sweet vengeance on that shitty Browns secondary. Oh boy, he's probably going to have one of his best games in as many years. And I think the Patriots will win, for vengeance sake, 47-14. Oh god. Then it's the Eagles going to the Lions. And remember that first Thanksgiving debacle the Eagles had last year? I don't think they're going to have as much of a debacle this year. But I still don't fully trust them. And I think the Lions will pull off a close win 26-23. But watch, just like against the Bears last week when I picked them, they'll probably shit the bed and let the Eagles remain undefeated and go 4-0 for the first time since 2004. Then it's the Bears going to the Colts. It's the first time since 2008 the Bears are going there. And the Colts have never beaten the Bears in Lucas Oil Stadium since last time they played in 2008 was the first game ever in Lucas Oil Stadium, and the Bears destroyed them. But of course, it's quite incredible that Brian Hoyer, after being so shitty these last bunch of years, is all of a sudden doing pretty good with that Bears' terrible offense. But the Colts are at home, and I'm sure they'll at least pull it off here, since that Bears' defense is terrible, since they pulled off so well against the Chargers. So the Colts would probably win 31-24. And it's the Titans going to the Dolphins, and oh boy, both teams are shitty, and I don't know what to really say. I think the Dolphins would probably win 20-16, simply because they're at home and more better talent than the Titans. But man, I don't know. You never know about the Titans. Like, they have a stingy defense, and all of a sudden they could probably just pull it off, just like they did against the Lions. So I guess we'll find out. And we get to, I think it's the most highest win percentage game of the week, and that's the Texans going to the Vikings for the first time since 2008. And wow, I'm quite amazed that the Vikings are 4-0 without Bridgewater and without AP. And since the Texans have been so shitty and so underachieving so far this year, I think the Vikings are going to absolutely crush them 26-10 and go 5-0 for the first time since 2009. Then the Jets go into the Steelers, a matchup of the team that the Jets just barely missed the playoffs out against. And of course, they've shit the bed so far this year. 9 picks Fitzpatrick's thrown these last 2 games. That's just unbelievable. Now, the Steelers do not have as good of a secondary, so I guess he should consider himself lucky about if he's starting, because I'm not sure about that. But, of course, Big Ben and the rest of that offense will shred that Jets up big time, 42-17. Alright, then we get to the 4 p.m. games, and that's first up would be the Falcons going to the Broncos. Oh, yeah, that's right, this is another matchup of the highest win percentage, I believe. And the first time Falcons are going here since 2004. And they did win last time they went there, but I don't think that's going to be the case this time, since that Broncos have apparently that defense is still just as good as last year, and the offense is being much better than last year, since they don't have Peyton throwing so many turnovers like last year. So I think the Broncos will win 27-17, regardless if it's Simeon or Lynch starting. Then the Bengals go into the Cowboys for the first time since 2008, and their first appearance in what was it, AT&T Stadium now? Oh boy, the Bengals on paper are a better team and more balanced in talent, but they're untrustable at the same time. I mean, I did expect them to start 2-2, but they've just not been really that good. I mean, that Dolphins victory was like the only good game they had, and offense didn't really do so well either. Most of those points were field goals, except for I think 1, whereas the Cowboys have been pretty solid so far, and Dak Prescott's been not really like impressive, but doing solid job so far. And since they're at home, I think the Cowboys will win 27-24. I mean, we call them the Bungles for a reason. But anyways, after that, it would be the Bills going to the Rams for the first time since 2008, and who knows how many decades it's been since they've been to LA. So now the Rams are 3-1. Although all their victories were within a touchdown, so they could have easily been 0-4. And I did expect them to beat the Seahawks. Not really that surprised they beat the Buccaneers. I'm somewhat surprised they beat the Cardinals. But then again, they did beat them last year too, so it's 2 in a row. They're doing a lot better than last year, but I'm still not quite fully impressed. And the Bills, yeah, they beat the Cardinals, although I did predict that earlier in the season. And they beat a Patriots team that was brainless, so it's not really that good either. But since the Rams are at home, and I think they're talent-wise, especially on defense, much better than the Bills, I think they will win 31-17 and be surprisingly 4-1 for the first time since 2006. Then it's the Chargers going to the Raiders, and oh boy. Well, good job for the Raiders being 3-1 to start the year, but man, that defense is holding you back so badly. Where's that strong defense we expected from last year? And of course, it's so bad that the Chargers could actually pull it off somewhat. But then again, remember last year, they had that overtime game that went down to the wire. But, oh boy, that defense is going to hold them back, and they might lose the game because of that defense. But since they're the home team, that offense is doing really well. I think the Raiders will win it 35-31. Okay, now we get to the Sunday night game. A game that they should not have ever picked for Sunday night, but yeah, they do it anyway. The Giants going to the Packers. First time since 2010. And one reason why I say that is because the Giants are fucking terrible when they go against at the Packers in the regular season. They're only good when in the playoffs, for crying out loud. Only have the Giants go to the Packers in the playoffs if you want any shot to have a close game, because otherwise they shit the bed. And just like we've seen so far this year, they're laying an egg again. Just like they laid an egg against the Redskins, they got boat raced by the Vikings. Just like they should have considered themselves lucky they didn't lay an egg against the Saints and Cowboys to be 0-4. And of course the Packers finally looked better after they played the Lions last week. So I think the Packers will win 31-10, and I can't wait to see the meltdown Odell Beckham has on the sidelines these last 2 games. That is hysterical. Odell, you're always so hysterical when your antics on the sideline, like when you hit the helmet on that kicking net and hit you right back in the face. That was hysterical. But then we get to the final game of the week. The Buccaneers going to the Panthers, and wow, both teams are doing shitty. Although I somewhat didn't expect it. Although I did expect it for the Panthers somewhat, just because they had a tough schedule to start the year. But man, they really shit the bed so far this year. And of course, Cam Newton out. Well, not out. He might play, but he's injured. I'm sure they miss Josh Norman right now. They could have probably really used him. And Jameis Winston. Oh, God. He's shit the bed so far, too. I mean, he's been very inconsistent. And it's quite saddening, too, to see. It's going to be probably a high-scoring game because those two not really so good defenses. But the Panthers, they're at home. And even if Cam doesn't play, Derek Anderson's been very good backup for him these last, 2 years. So even if he starts, I think the Panthers will win 37-30. Alright, those are my picks for Week 5. Hopefully I'll go undefeated to catch up with everyone else. And leave your thoughts in the